What's going on, guys? So I'm going to talk about the top 5 camera tools that you need. Now, these are tools that people don't really talk about, but I'm going to tell you why they're very important. So first, we're going to start off with the Sandmarc Hybrid Pro ND filters. Now, for those of you who don't know, ND filters are, in other words, neutral density filters. They allow you to stop down light without having to compromise motion blur or shallow depth of field. For example, here's a shot without using these ND filters and with a 1/8000 shutter speed. Now, why is it a 1/8000 shutter speed? Well, I'm shooting an S-Log on my Sony a7S, and the base ISO for that camera is 3200, and shooting that out in a bright sunny day really forces me to stop down my footage, and there's only 2 ways to do that without a filter. You can either stop down the f-stop and you will lose that shallow depth of field and you might actually see some specks on your lens, or you can actually increase the shutter speed, but then you will lose that motion blur. So side by side, you can see a massive difference between using the Hybrid Pro filter and not using any filter at all. That motion blur is really what gives 24 frames per second that cinematic pop, and I do recommend these filters, especially if you're shooting an S-Log. Also, they're polarizers, so they will eliminate a lot of that annoying glaring reflection that we see in reflective surfaces like glass. So with this kit, we get a soft padded case with 3 different polarizer ND filters. We have a 16, a 32, and a 64. The 16 will drop it down 4 stops, the 32 8 stops, and the 64 16 stops. And with using 3200 ISO and S-Log on my Sony a7S and shooting outside in the bright sunny day, you definitely have to use the 64 ND filter, because that's the only thing that's going to keep you from overexposing your footage and to maintain that beautiful motion blur that we see in 24 frames per second footage. When we take a closer look at these ND filters, you can really see the quality glass and the aluminum frame. So if you're interested in picking up these filters, check out the link down below. I promise you guys are going to love these ND filters. Now, the next tool is from a company called SmallRig. This is a multi-tool. It's a screwdriver, flathead, and it has just so many different types of tools in this little kit. There have been countless amount of times when I've ended up on a shoot and I didn't have anything to screw on my quick release plate with. I was just using a coin, and it's kind of embarrassing to constantly ask for that if I don't have one. But this is more than just a flathead. This has so many different types of tools. There's multiple Allen keys, there's a Phillips head, there's a flathead, and so on. And it's all metal and it feels durable and high quality. These are a must-have, guys. I promise you are definitely gonna need this everywhere you go, and it's a good thing to just keep around in your pocket or actually even in your camera bag, and don't take it out from there, because you're gonna end up on set and you're definitely gonna need this tool. So definitely recommend the SmallRig toolkit right here. The next underrated piece of gear is a camera cage from a company called Warax. This is a camera cage for my a7S. SmallRig actually also makes awesome camera cages, but it depends on your camera and lens combination, so definitely do some research when you're looking at camera cages. But a camera cage allows you to attach so many different types of things. If you notice, when we have a closer look at this thing, we have multiple 1/4 20-inch threads and we have multiple 3/8-inch threads. So there is literally no limit to mounting onto your camera cage, and we can attach NATO handles and so on, and I just leave it mounted on my camera forever, even when it's on my gimbal. And not only does this allow you to attach multiple pieces of camera gear on your camera, but it also somewhat protects it. So if you have a minor drop or spill with your camera, this will protect all of its corners, and most likely it won't scuff up your camera compared to when not having it on at all. The next piece of gear, and probably the most underrated piece of gear, is this mini dual ball head mount. SmallRig makes this as well. They have over 500 different SKUs, so they make a ton of different pieces, but this mini dual ball head mount is so versatile because it allows you to attach multiple things like a microphone, lights, and so on. But what makes it so unique is that both ends of this ball head are flexible and you can angle them in any direction you want. I actually own 3 of these and I use them every single day. Trust me, this is gonna probably be your most used piece of gear throughout your whole entire filmmaking career. These little mini ball head mounts. Definitely recommend them. Next piece of gear is this little thing. This is a quick release for your tripod. Now, Tech makes this quick release system, but it is not really proprietary because it can be mounted on anything with a 1/4 20-inch thread. And all I have to do is pull down and the tripod comes right off. And then to reattach it, pull down the tab, done. And now you can hold it in a completely different way. Now, this little quick release system for your tripod is not only good for your gimbal, but you can use it in any other form as well. So just get creative with it, because I promise you this thing is gonna save you lots of time. And that wraps up this video. I'll leave the links for these items in the description box below, so make sure you check it out and subscribe with those notifications turned on, and I'll see you soon. Peace.